just a little bit nervous, but I found some faces, that one that I can look at and kind of come back. My name is Milka. Yeah, it's me. My name is Milka, and I was born in Caracas, Venezuela. I actually arrived to the United States when I was 10 years old without knowing one word of English. Yes, one word of English. So honestly, I cannot even believe that I'm speaking full English with you guys right now. So this is like awesome for me. I moved to Miami. So I was raised in Miami until I think I was there until I was like 30. But in Miami, I actually attended Miami Beach Senior High School, and they had a magnet program that was travel and tourism. That gave me so many different opportunities in the field that I had no idea I was going to use today. I was able to work for Carnival Cruise Line and the sales department, learned a lot about the sales department and what they do. I learned about the hospitality industry. I was lucky enough to work for the Marriott. The Marriott is such an amazing company that actually does give you what the hospitality business is all about. It's about servicing others. And if you have chosen this career, it's probably because you like to help other people. And that's why I chose it. I worked banking, and I went to school, Miami-Dade Community College. It took me, I swear, like 8 years to finish the 2-year program. Because I was working full time and I would pay for my own classes. So I did my program. I knew I wanted to do baking, but I also knew that I wanted a job that would provide financial stability, right? Because I'm migrating from Venezuela. We struggled a lot. I didn't know a word in English. So I wanted a job that would give me financial stability. I went to Florida International University to study business administration. I did an 18-week program where I've met amazing people that up until today, I still use them as mentors. I use them for resumes. I use them to get back in the corporate career. Always, always leave all of your relationships, including the ones you have today. You never know, like 20, 30 years from now, you don't know who's going to be doing what. And who are you going to be able to reach out to later on for an opportunity? So don't burn bridges. And the other thing that I'm going to say, the culinary world or the tourism world is big, but it's very small. So wherever you go, just pay attention. You never know who's there. You never know what you're saying and what you're doing. That's just going to impact the way the world looks at you. Going back to the corporate, I did 12 years of corporate. It sucked. It wasn't for me. It really wasn't. During my corporate career, don't do this, but I would actually go to the kitchen and bake while I was working. And that's when I started doing, I would work 8 to 5. And at 6 o'clock, from 6 to 10, I would take baking classes. Just for stress. I wasn't selling anything. I was just doing it for stress. Once I started falling in love with the whole silence that happens in the kitchen and the creation that happens with my hands, I said, you know what? I'm going to start selling cakes. The one thing I never, ever did was get on debt. Even when I was 18, I sold one cake. Okay. So I got $20. I made the cake. And I sold it for $40. So there's my $20. I used those $20 and I reinvested on tools. Tools like the KitchenAid. Because at the beginning, I used to do it by hand. Yes, by hand. Nobody sees this on Instagram. Nobody sees this on TikTok. Nobody sees you crying behind the scenes when you don't get any orders. Nobody sees you crying and saying, why did I choose this career? This doesn't give me enough money. I don't have 401k. I can't go on vacations. What always brings me back is what I get, that smile that I get from people, that connection that I'm able to get. So during my corporate career, I then moved to Denver, from Miami all the way to Denver. In Denver, I found a weekend program. So I would work corporate Monday to Friday. On Saturdays, all day, I will be doing my baking and pastry program. I knew I wanted to do baking and pastry, but I also knew that my own insecurities and my own fear wasn't allow me to do it unless I was fully prepared. And for me, prepare was studying. Prepare was taking classes. Prepare was seeing what's out there, studying the trends, what's happening in social media, all of that. And mind you, I'm 43. Okay, social media is a brand new thing for me. Okay, so it's a lot to learn. You have to be your own brand. You have to be your own advocate, I would say. You have to defend what your dream is. Always defend it. Always. So I attended baking program at Johnson & Wales. After that, moved back to West Palm Beach. I think I worked corporate for another 2 years. In those 2 years, this is where it gets really fun. In those 2 years, I was preparing to create a handcrafted stuffed marshmallow. Yes, it's handcrafted. I had no idea that we can create a marshmallow from scratch. No idea. So I played. I knew what I wanted the feeling to be, but I had pretty basic knowledge of marketing, right? Because there's different parts of the business that you need to have knowledge of, at least basic knowledge, but you also need to find that resource. And that's why I'm telling you that all of you come in handy. You have to find that resource that's going to help you on that area that you have no idea how to move on, okay? I created handcrafted stuffed marshmallows. I applied to the West Palm Beach Green Market. I remember clearly the day that I received the email, September 11th of 2014. I called my manager and I said, I am quitting and I am going to open up a business. I'm selling stuffed marshmallows. He said, you're doing what? Are you crazy? He literally said that. Are you crazy? This is 12 years of corporate, 401k, stocks, benefits, you name it. I had it all, but I hated it. Hated it. I said, yeah, that's what I'm doing. October 14 came. I had 4 weeks, guys, to set up the business, to set up stickers, ingredients, logo. I didn't even have a logo, let alone a name. I had no idea. I had nothing. But when I showed up to the interview, I said, this is what I'm selling. And I think everyone would love it. And they believed me. Week after week for 4 years, we did the green market, and that opened up so many opportunities. It was sweaty. It was hard. There's times that we didn't sell anything. There was times that all my marshmallows melted, and I would go home crying, like, all my labor. There's times that we would sell out. There's times that it would rain. Everything will happen. And what will keep you alive, I guess, or what would keep you going? Your why. Because sometimes you won't make money. I promise you. It's not about money. So I've done, I'll have to read this because I've done so many things that I don't even remember. And some of these things don't even say everything. So I did West Palm Beach Green Market. I did the Palm Beach Gardens Market. I've done the S'mores Card, Mardi Gras, Jupiter Medical Center, WPTV, CBS 12, Jupiter Country Club. I remember that one. I had to make 400 marshmallows with a specific designs, and I was in the car 2 minutes before in the back seat going like this. Like, it was a mission, but we did it. I did Brooklyn Show Cafe. Palm Beach Illustrated has featured me 3 times. Jupiter Magazine, Arts Culture Magazine. I had a pop-up shop at City Place, and that's when I discovered that I do not want a restaurant at all. I don't want to be stuck in a place. I want to move. I want to be mobile. And we can all do it today, especially if you use your hands. Your hands are magic. I've done stuffed cookies. I've done stuffed brownies. I've done it all. So I feel, right? I've done empanadas. I've shown up to places. I've done it all. I swear, I've done it all. The only thing that I would say that I say I've done it all, it's all within the industry. All within the industry, all within sweet bites. So everything that I come up with, it's within the same brand. Sweet, small bites, because that's what life is about. Sweet, small bites. I know I sound old. My roadblocks. Me. Roadblocks. Oh. Me. I am my own roadblock. There's days that I don't believe in myself. There's days that I say, why would anyone want to buy this? Why am I doing this? So the road is not like this. It literally is up and down, up and down. And December is amazing, but then March comes and I'm like, where are these people? Like, who needs me? Who needs my sweets? So you have to diversify your portfolio. I cannot just sell sweets, marshmallows. I also do payroll on the side. I do. I also do payroll and HR on the side. I do marshmallows. I do biz presentations. I show up to kindergarten. I show up to parties. I show up everywhere because there's money out there if that's what you're looking for. But what drives me is my passion. And it's out there. So just find it. Money. Oh, money, it's a huge one. Like I said at the beginning, I wanted to go for culinary and pastry, but I didn't because of money. I wanted financial stability. But I did business administration and international business, which gave me some marketing tools, gave me a lot of networking, gave me training on how to write an email, how to reply, how to send proposals, how to speak to the big guns, okay? Aiming for perfection is huge. You don't want to come up with a product or a recipe, a formula. I don't know. I'll ask some questions later, but you don't want to come up with a product and not be perfect, right? You come up and you're so proud of this product and you want it to be perfect. You want the name to be perfect. It's never going to be perfect. Do it. Just get it out there. Never, ever is going to be perfect. You will perfect it as you continue. The marshmallow started like this. I swear, the marshmallow started this big. And now I have marshmallows. So it's never going to be perfect. Now we have marshmallows. Okay? And marshmallows. Let me show you. Okay? Marshmallows. Yep. It's a marshmallow. Now my face is probably white. So aiming for lack of knowledge in other fields, just as marketing, branding, messaging, study guides. Like really, there's a lot of platforms. There's a lot of resources out there for branding, for marketing. The cities have huge, huge resources for you to use. Make sure that you use those. They're free. Use them. And they will definitely help you. And going to school, remember those networkings. Keep them. Smile more. Keep them. Smile more and talk to them. Success, for me, all of this. All of that is success. Every single time I step into the kitchen or I step anywhere, for me, that's just one more day that I'm able to do what I love, which is create with my hands. Not speak, create with my hands. Success talking to you guys today. Success paying bills with the art of creating marshmallows. That's huge, huge. And my recommendation is stay consistent. Stay consistent, keep going, keep going. When you think you don't have it and when you're drowning, push one more time. Just remember why you started your career, why you started, why you picked it. Persistent, study, adapt, but never quit. Adapt, but never quit. Please. Travel. You have to and you must travel. You must travel, especially if you're in the culinary business, if you're in the hospitality business or in the industry, you must travel. The flavors, the cultures that you get from food, from the kitchen, from other people, It's something that you will not learn from books. I promise you that. Travel, 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 and open your heart for what's out there. There's so much magic out there. The culinary world, it really, really is magic. That's it. Show up as yourself, and when in doubt, always go back to your why. Like, really show up as yourself. Like, that's really all I have. Okay. Super fast, right?
That's okay. So, do we have any questions from anyone in the audience while you were listening to her speak? Is there any questions that you guys have been thinking of?
Yeah.
Where's your shop located?
I don't have a shop. We have a kitchen, which is required by the state to be able to produce the marshmallows, but not an actual shop. I had one for about 6 months. And I really don't want, you have to be there from 5 a.m. to whoever knows what. I don't want one. Any other questions?
Do you have a website?
I do. It's dreamallows.com.
So I had a question.
Go.
Where do you see your business going? What do you see for the future?
Okay. So what I'm working on 3 different things. First, I'm working on a sprinkle gun machine. And I won't go into details because that actually has a patent on it. I'm also working on a baking paper that I won't go into details either because there's a lot of, but my goal is to take this marshmallow coloring kit to students, to elderly centers where I can help people with sensory issues, with anxiety issues. And you'll see once you come up, what it is to touch it. It feels really hard, but when you touch it, it just takes you somewhere else. So my goal will be to definitely be on Shark Tank. I want to be in Target. So you see how you see those little royal icing cookies on Target and you buy them at the, I want to be one of those little boxes. And it's not I want to be, I will be. So whether you see it with my name or whether you see it with someone else's name, because I sold the idea maybe to the marshmallow company because they have a bigger market, right? The goal is to definitely take this to a bigger audience, not for eating, but for enjoyment and for just creating that sweet mellow moment. It really is.
They're having a blast in the back. So it sounds like, you have a wide range of different things you're working on currently. Where do you get all of your inspiration from?
Honestly, every time I'm in the kitchen, that's where it comes from. When I'm stressed throughout the day, I have 3 kids. I have a 20-year-old, I have a 7-year-old, and I have a 5-year-old. The 7-year-old, it's highly sensitive. So he has like a little bit of anxiety and he gets up and he gets down. And I noticed that when I gave him that, he's just mellow. So a lot of my inspiration comes from kids. I don't know where my love for kids came from, but I think seeing that their brain almost changes every time they touch or they smell the marshmallow, that's where my inspiration comes from. My kids and seeing the kids around, like they need something else. And I want to give that, whatever that is.
So a thought that comes to mind is, we have an audience here whose ages 14 to 18. Is there anything that when you think back to when you were 14 to 18, is there any advice that you have for someone who's thinking of becoming an entrepreneur? But where should they start?
I would say pick a field, right? I would say study business. Business goes with every single field that you can go. Don't just concentrate on one field in specific. I knew that business administration and international business was going to help me, whether I picked medical school, because you still need business on it, whether I picked working at a hotel, whether I picked working at a restaurant, whatever it is, just have a variety. Different, like have different options. Okay, there's my Spanish. So I would say business, but definitely go to school. Like, don't, at least start. If you don't know what you're going for, at least start your 2-year program. And once you're there, something will flow. Something will flow, something will come. You'll talk to someone that might spark, an idea or a career that you didn't think of. So that's what I would recommend. Just
Awesome. So you also mentioned in your presentation that you never know who you're going to meet and how they might, later on be an influence in your life. Have there been anyone in your life that's been a mentor that you've kept in touch with over the years?
yes. Oh my God. All of this. Every single one of them. Brooklyn Show Cafe, they've showcased me 3 different times. And just because I've kept the relationship open, and I reach out to them anytime I have anything to show. They tell me when I'm in the interview, they guide me on how to sell it. 1909 is a huge organization that I belong to that helps me and has mentored me like crazy. But all of them, really, because every single one of this, Jupiter Magazine, Palm Beach Illustrated, even the Jupiter Medicals, I haven't paid for any of this marketing, guys. I haven't paid to be on these magazines. All of this has been mentors and things that I've done. CBS 12 and WPTV. I used to work out with a WPTV anchor, and I had no idea. I was just friendly with him. And one day he's like, hey, you want to come on? And I was like, what? I went on. CBS 12 showed up to Artigraph, and she saw me, and I was like, hey, you want to snore? Blah, blah, blah. I did the whole presentation, and she left, and then she came back. And she goes, hey, do you want to be on the morning show? And blah, 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 blah. So that's why I think you never know who's going to be there. Martha Stewart was in one of the West Palm Beach Free Markets. I wanted to die. So I think all of them, every business owner that I have met, they have so much knowledge, more than me. So I think, honestly, every single person that I've read into, you guys are an inspiration.
So thinking back, I know I just want to make sure that all of our audience can really relate. So is there anything that you would do differently? If I know you are happy with where you are now, but is there anything, thinking back to when you were in high school or maybe around this age, anything you would do differently to get to where you are now?
When I was in high school, I used to skip class. Yes, I used to skip class to go into the culinary classroom. And I wasn't able to do the culinary classroom because I didn't know English. So they didn't accept the ones that didn't know English because we couldn't communicate with the chef. So what I did, because obviously when I came here, I didn't know English. And it was like, what I did is I used to skip class, go there and just be part of the class and learn and feel super safe, right? I think what I would have done different now that I have all this power and knowledge is I would have not fought because that's the wrong word, but I would have challenged the school to actually allow me to be in that class because that's what I wanted to do. So I think that would be the only thing that I would do different. Just challenge the school to allow me to be there, even though I didn't know the whole language.
Okay, awesome. So I know that you've had a lot of success, right? A lot of different things happen, but is there one that sticks out in particular in your brain, like your biggest success story? Even if it's not up here.
Biggest success story. But I don't remember her name. When we did the pop-up, there's like this reality television girl that actually was part of my pop-up. I don't remember her name though. That wouldn't be it. But when I saw her, I almost died, and she had my marshmallows, and she was like, okay, they're amazing. No, I think every single one. Like when I got my first Palm Beach Illustrated, I was like, oh my God, like I'm from Miami. Like this is no joke. Like Palm Beach Illustrated, it's like the biggest magazine here. And I got it for free. And it was such a amazing experience meeting the editors and meeting the photographers and what happens behind the scene that you think is like just magic. So there's so much work that goes behind it. So I think Palm Beach Illustrated was pretty big for me. It was pretty big.
Now, I know that everything that you do really kind of goes back to your Dreamallows. So how did you get How did that come to your brain, that inspiration with Dreamallows?
So Dreamallows came at a time that I was very sad. And I just kind of said, okay, I'm gonna get out of this sadness. I'll spare you the drama behind it. But I'm gonna get out of the sadness. I'm gonna go to the kitchen and I'm gonna just create. I had no idea that I was gonna create a marshmallow, like honestly. In baking school, they don't teach you how to make marshmallows. They teach you how to make like cakes and like really fancy stuff. One day I remember in Denver, I didn't like the feel of marshmallow in my mouth because sensory. What is it? Sensory. I didn't like the feel in my mouth. I didn't like that the chocolate would just like kind of like go everywhere. It was just messy. For me, it was messy. The taste, the texture, everything was a problem for me. And I said, you know what? Let me see how they create marshmallows. And I started researching and researching. There's actually marshmallow root, which is part of the gelatin, and it goes back into like the 50s. And I started just creating one. And I said, when I touched it and I saw what happened from the sugar and the caramel and the agave, and somebody's on. When I saw what happened, I noticed that it was magic, and I fell in love with the lightness of it. I fell in love with the attitude that the sugar would give me when I was in a bad mood. The sugar, the chocolate would like react. I swear, like once you get and you touch an ingredient, I don't know if you've ever had your mom give you a meal that she didn't make with like a lot of love. Yeah, we do that. You feel it. It's like, oh, and you just eat it kind of like, well, when you cook something with love, it knows, and you'll see what I mean. Like there's times that I've made marshmallows just because I have to, and it's like, whatever, and I mess up the recipe, and I mess up the formula, or they're too wet, or they're too something always happens. So when I came up with it, I was like, this is just a perfect small little bite. When you put it in your mouth, it explodes, and you're like, oh. So it was a full experience, and I just did it.
So you also said that, you know, when you put out products, they're not necessarily perfect right away. How long did it take you to perfect your Dreamallows?
So the tiny one that I made for the green market, I would say like maybe a month and a half. And what I did is I kind of like sat back and looked at how everyone was reacting, how they were touching it. The process of me making it would take me like 2.5 hours, and I wanted to minimize the time because time is money. So I wanted to minimize the time. I wanted to faster, quicker, all the same. So I started changing the process. Just by looking at the reaction from people, how they grab it, how they melt, how they bite into it, the little kids, the parents, everything. I started just capturing all the different faces, all the different, listening to everything people are saying, go back to the kitchen, change it, test it again, go back to the kitchen, test it. And I think a month to perfect the bite. And once I perfected a bite, I think it took me like 5 years to get to this. I had no idea I could create this. And when I did, I screamed. I still scream sometimes on the things that I'm able to do with it. Like when I saw this, I was like, oh, I can't believe I can do this.
Do you have a patent on this?
So the formula of recipes, you can't really patent. I don't have a patent of the marshmallow itself. No, you could create marshmallow. And like I said, try it. You should try it. Sugar will respond to you. Chocolate will respond to you. So you really need to learn your ingredients. When I say study, I study how the marshmallow behaves and heat and cold. If it's too cold, it doesn't taste the same. If it's too hot, it doesn't taste the same. So it does have a personality of its own. I don't have a patent on it though.
Okay. So I know you started talking about other patents, so just it made me wonder. Okay, I mean, does anyone have any questions or anything that they're wanting to know? I know you all are in culinary, right? You all want to be in the field of culinary. So is there anything that you guys want to ask?
Oh, if you don't ask, I'm gonna ask, because I totally have questions. And I know who I'm picking first. Ready? No questions? Who's in the culinary? Who's in the culinary world? All of them. So, everybody? So what do you study? Or what do you want to do? You don't know? Okay, so is there a reason why you picked culinary? They put you in the class. Well, take advantage. You might learn a thing or two. Anybody else? Why they pick culinary? Do you want to tell me? Why did you pick culinary? Everything else is boring. Okay. Do you have anyone in your family that cooks? Your dad, like professionally, or he just loves to do it? There you go. So do you want to be like a pastry chef, or do you want to like cook? Do you know? You don't know. There's cost management, there's marketing, there's accounting, there's payroll, there's HR. There's a lot of different fields within the culinary business. So don't just think that it's only being a chef. We need everything in the field. We need someone to work on menus. There's restaurants that actually hire chefs to work on only the menus. Okay, so don't just think that you have to be behind the line, or don't think that you just have to be a chef. You could be a lot more than that. Make sure that you challenge the ingredients, challenge the industry. Okay, don't ever forget to challenge the industry.
Are you a one-woman show? Do you do it all for your business, or do you have a team behind you?
So when I started 7 years ago, it was myself, my now 20-year-old, and my husband. Now it's just me. I do all of the social media. I do all of the presentations. I do all of the events. I create, I post, I do my own accounting. I do my own taxes, my 1099s, all that. I do it all. I've learned, but I've made a lot of mistakes on the way, and I'm sure I'll make more, but it's part of the process.
All right, well, listen, I appreciate you coming out here and sharing your story with the students. And truly you have passion. I can tell when you talk about what you do that really passion is what drives you. Thank you for sharing. And I hope that, thank you all for listening. And I hope that